15 live now, waiting for this to go live for everyone, just to make sure we are not missing out like last episode.
Yes, that was bad. It was very sad.
All one viewer was very disappointed.
All right, it says we're live, excellent condition, looks good. I see us, we are live.
All right.
All right. And for the podcast, here we go. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Dinkytown Sports. Today, we do our Week 9 picks.
Welcome back to the Dinkytown Sports Podcast with your hosts Cody Hain, Cameron Matson, Christian Otati, and Zach Hain. Hey boys, how's it going?
It's going.
Okay. Cam's not going to say anything, I guess.
I give you a salute.
Glad we could all get together for a night of recording. Sometimes it's tough with our crazy schedules. Gotta love it. So before we do our picks for this week, we're just going to do a quick rundown of what happened last week. Not too in depth, just we're going to go through it. Cameron went 6-6 last week. His record is 43, 46-2. That winning percentage is climbing.
Yep.
Christian had his worst week probably ever, I think, last week.
I've had worse weeks.
Have you really?
Yeah, oh my God. I had a worst week already this. We all had week 1 was terrible, remember, when we only picked 4 games?
I
was talking about with this sample size is what I was talking about.
I'll find one. I'll get back to you.
Okay. So Christian went 4-8.
I went 3-7 week 2. There you go.
Oh, okay. And then I went 6-6, and Zach went 5-7. The overall records for this season are now 43, 46-2 for Cam with a 483 winning percentage. Christian, climbing up. Christian is 49, 39-3 after that terrible week, and he still has a commanding lead with a winning percentage of 557. I am at 46, 43-2 with a 517 winning percentage, and Zach just really sucks. His overall is 42, 48-1 because he sucks and he don't know ball.
All right, guys, new strategy. I'm not looking up any of the games. I'm not looking up any of the stats. I'm going based off of feelings this week.
I mean, he can't do any worse, in all honesty.
That's so true. Actually, he can actually do worse.
Comeback. Yeah. It's going to be the greatest comeback in history here.
So
I'm down 3-0 right now in baseball terms in the series. It's comeback
Christian and Zach took for the first game here Oregon at Purdue. Christian and Zach took Purdue plus 27.5. Cam and I took Oregon minus 27.5, and Oregon covered. That was a huge spread. I was actually kind of worried about that.
Purdue was in field goal range like 8 times, and they didn't get any points. So that's not even on us.
That was I mean, hey, they had nothing to lose. You might as well go for it.
Mm-hmm.
We did not great on our pick of the weeks this week.
No.
We had BYU minus 9.5 against Oklahoma State at home. I thought that one was a pretty.
That was one I was most confident in because Oklahoma State had not been good. BYU ended up winning, I think.
I believe they did.
But it was like by 3 or something. But finally, Ollie Gordon broke out. Had a good game finally. I think he had like 7 yards per carry. So.
Finally.
Yeah.
Too late. Too little, too late though.
Right when we need them to do bad. So.
Yeah, pretty much. Next up, we had number 6 Miami at Louisville. Christian and Zach took Louisville plus 4.5. It was a good game, but they did not cover that. It was a 7-point game. Cam and I took the over, and that hit in like the third quarter, because I mean it was dang close at halftime.
That was game of the year, probably. It's up
there. That was a good game.
That was an amazing game.
There was no defense whatsoever.
I think there was only one possession that ended in no stop the second half. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was exciting football, but the defense was atrocious.
And because they were scoring all the time, the game took forever.
Yeah, but it was exciting at least, right?
It was like 4 hours or something. Yeah.
At least it was exciting. Then you had Nebraska at Indiana. We all got this one right. Cam took the over. Christian and Zach took IU minus 6.5, and they covered that by just a little.
This was their coming out game because I don't think anyone really was sure if they were legit, but they're legit.
Mm-hmm. And those people had a right to say that because they hadn't played a great team yet.
Mm-hmm.
Cam and
actually, are we picking? We're obviously picking Indiana this week, right? That game.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
All right, because Rourke is out this week.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
that's why the line.
He had I think a thumb from thumb ligament
injury.
or a broken thumb or something.
But then their backup quarterback came in and absolutely crapped on Nebraska too. So
So I mean, I would see a little loss of production, but I don't think it's gonna be too bad.
We'll get to that when we get to the game. Cam and I took the over in that game. Glad we took the over in that game. Next up, we had, I think, our only... Oh, no. We had 2 pick of the weeks, right, I believe. We had Wisconsin at Northwestern. We all took Wisconsin -7 because Northwestern is not the darlings of the podcast anymore. Sorry, guys. It was fun while it lasted. Next up, Christian was the only one that got this one right. He took UCLA +4.5. Cam took under 40.5. That did not hit. Zach took the under in that game and did not hit. And I took Rutgers by 4.5.
Pretty sure Garbers had some weekly awards for this game. He had 5 touchdowns or something ridiculous. He had a really good game.
So the only reason I took Rutgers in this game was because of the travel. So
which I don't think was a bad idea. I think most of the teams that traveled didn't do that well. It was
a bad idea.
Yeah, because Minnesota's one of the few teams that went out to California. Well, no, because the Big Ten, whoever's been traveling, has typically been winning besides USC.
Well, there's been some disparity in the team talent.
Yeah.
Let's be real. I don't think if there was a close game, it would matter. Close teams, I should say.
Yeah. Next up, we had Michigan at Illinois. Cameron took the over of 43.5. It did not hit.
Nope.
Christian took Michigan -3.5. Crazy. Christian's crazy pick of the week. And then Zach and I took Illinois +3.5. I thought it was kind of insulting that Illinois was actually underdogs at home against a bad Michigan football team. So
I had faith in Khalil Mullings. And
it didn't work out.
You're wrong.
No.
I thought the over-under was too low.
Yeah.
Obviously it wasn't.
Vegas knew something you didn't. Next up, we had the Alabama at Tennessee game. None of us got this right. Zach, if Zach would have just taken the Tennessee money line, he would have had it right. But he took Tennessee -20.5, which obviously did not hit.
I mean, he was on the right track. Yeah, he was on the right track, honestly.
Yeah.
Alabama is cooked. Let's just say that.
Bama
Tennessee's over.
Okay. Let's not jump to conclusions.
I mean, Nick Saban's gone, so that dynasty is over.
Technically, yeah. If we're going by historical, like the Genghis Khan dynasty. Okay.
Oh, geez.
Jalen Milroe is hurt. That is my bold take. Obviously, nobody's said it. They're not going to say it because that's how Milroe likes to play. He is banged up bad. He came up lame after a hit in South Carolina, and I had either texted you guys or I live tweeted it. I can't remember. But he hasn't been the same guy on the ground or in the pocket. He's been much less mobile, and that's his whole game. So
getting the sound effects
that's
in. Let's
crazy.
go.
Bro hit me. I can't believe you just did that.
It was crazy that Alabama probably should have lost 3 games in a row.
Probably, yeah.
That's crazy to hear. DeBoer is going to be run out of town after year 1, and it's going to be crazy.
I forgot. I think Paul Feinbaum said he was on the hot seat.
It's Alabama. You don't win. You don't. Nah, they don't care. It's Alabama.
You're not going to replace Saban at all. It's impossible.
They're going to go get Bill Belichick out of retirement.
But you have to think the roster that he inherited was pretty good.
It is a really good roster.
So
I just don't think he's that good of a coach.
Who, DeBoer?
I think he's a good coach, but I don't think he's anywhere to the caliber that some of these other coaches are down in the SEC.
Yeah, but they're not going to.
Because apparently, I think coaches are out scheming him. That's why they're getting beat.
They're out scheming the coordinators. That's what's happening.
Okay, that's true. Well, then DeBoer needs to fire coordinator.
Kane Womack our defensive coordinator is going to be gone. I'm pretty sure Nick Sheridan should be gone too, the offensive coordinator. You have the most electric player in college football, in my opinion. Sorry, Travis Hunter.
Ashton Genty?
He's no. Does Ashton Genty throw the ball like Milroe? No.
He probably could if he tried.
Yeah, he's that talented.
Yeah.
And you're screwing up. Figure it out.
So I would just like to say that Bama is now 0-2 against the Tennessee schools in the SEC this year.
The Dixieland
Rough.
Delight battle, the battle for Dixieland, is not going well.
I'd say not.
Did you guys see Garth Brooks already bought? What? Yeah, I thought it made it to the river.
Yeah,
I don't think the whole thing did. I don't think the whole thing did. So like snapped in half. Like
Garth Brooks
snap.
bought a piece of it. Apparently, that was the.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's electric.
Yeah.
Sad.
That's cool.
Anyhow, we can move on.
Yeah. So then we have our next pick of the week. USC at Maryland. Maryland is not a good football team. We took USC -7, all of us, and we thought this one was another pretty, at least a push.
Yeah. This was the crazy, like, what the heck, for me.
Welcome to the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Big Ten, USC.
I can't believe that, because I was high on USC after the Penn State game. What does that say about Penn State, Zach? That Maryland beat the team that just almost
great teams find a way to win.
Maryland is a great team. You heard
Maryland's
it here
a great
first.
team. They found a way to win.
Consistently find ways to win.
Quarterback Billy Edwards Jr. had nearly 400 through the air. He was cooking.
Yeah.
Lincoln Riley, I got in a huge argument over how offensive minded head coaches rarely have sustained success. Have you noticed that? How the great coaches of recent have been pretty much defensive minded guys? Because I think that offensive schemes are so fluid and like trends change so constantly, and there are guys that are better at certain things. Like if there's a new thing, like if we go back to like a triple option type of like what Vandy's running, you're going to need an OC that is good at that. But if you're a head coach and you're stuck in like an air raid style, because that's what you know, it's kind of tough to alter your vision to move to the triple option. But on the defensive side, it's more what works, if that makes sense. And like Kirby Smart, Nick Saban, they're both defensive guys. Coach Orgeron was a defensive guy his whole career. Like even going back to like Pete Carroll, who was a defensive guy. Like I feel like these really good for a long time coaches are defensive gurus. Whereas like you can always get, if you're a head coach, like this new trendy offensive coordinator. And if he sucks, you can get rid of him for the next thing that is working. And like, that's how I think Bama might be screwed, because DeBoer is the offensive guy, so it's possible that could be an issue. Sorry for that.
No, you're good. Lincoln Riley also got ran out of Oklahoma because his defenses were so bad.
And it's the same
he didn't really
thing
get
here.
run out. He just kind of left.
It's
but
the same
the
thing.
writing was on the wall.
He was run out because he was running the Big 12.
Yeah, but he was.
Because they also had no defenses.
Yeah, but he wasn't run out. He left Oklahoma because he couldn't beat the big schools. So he went to USC thinking he was going to start beating the big schools at USC, when in reality, I think it's him that's the issue. So
I agree. He might be the QB guru, but you need to be more.
He needs to get a better defensive coordinator. He needs to get a good defensive
and
coordinator.
those aren't easy to come by. So that's what I mean.
Not in college football, no.
The defensive like minds, those are the guys, like that's why it makes Kirby so great, is he's a direct descendant of the Belichick Saban thing. And those are the guys that are going to succeed. Dan Lanning was a descendant of that. That's why he's going to be good for a long time. And then you can just pick up the new Kiffin, the new Sarkisian, like whenever they come around. That's my argument. I don't know if you guys disagree with that.
No, I don't disagree with that at all. I like defensive-minded football, so yeah.
Well, yeah, we're Big Ten fans. That's all we get. No matter, we don't get a choice.
Facts.
True. All right. So next up, we have LSU at Arkansas. Cam, Christian, and I all took LSU. Zach took the under, and everything hit. I'm impressed that the under hit in an LSU game, in all honesty. But it was 55.5. I don't know what the final score ended up being, but
44 total. So
wow.
this one was interesting because a lot of people were taking Arkansas to win this, and we all picked LSU. I guess we saw something. I don't know. This was like the Nussmeier prove it game for me, and I thought he played pretty well. They played pretty well. I mean, Arkansas has been like the spoiler makers of this year.
True.
They had beat Tennessee already. They played Texas A&M close. So,
yeah, I think that had a lot to do with we just believed in LSU's offense a lot more than national media did, I guess. Next up, we have Georgia at Texas. None of us got this one right. This was another like, what the hell is happening this season game.
Yeah,
college football. That's what's happening.
No, I don't care. We haven't seen this since 2007. This is crazy.
Yeah.
So we all took Texas -5. Obviously didn't hit. Cam took Mini Mexico. I'm not exactly sure who that is, but
Texas.
Is that? Oh, I was gonna say New Mexico,
Really?
California, Arizona.
Just call me out.
You're not funny. You're not funny.
Yeah, Cody.
This one was crazy because Georgia had the game plan the whole time. It wasn't a repeat of the Bama game where the big lead got taken out. I mean, they even had Arch Manning in for a minute. That
was very interesting.
They were struggling. I mean, Ewers 211, 2 touchdowns and a pick. That's not enough to beat Georgia. And I mean, even Carson Beck played terribly. He had 3 interceptions and 175 yards, and they still beat him by 15. That just goes to show that Georgia, the good teams win, right, Zach?
Great teams find a way to win consistently.
Right.
Keyword.
Up next, we have Iowa at Michigan State. I don't know what to make of Iowa. Some weeks they look really good, and other weeks they don't. Cam and Zach actually took the over on an Iowa game, which hit. Christian and I took Iowa
minus. Done this the past 3 weeks. I don't know why it's such a surprise.
Christian and I took Iowa -5.5. I think that Iowa is actually the better team, but they're just so up and down all the time right now.
Yeah, if I pick them, they're gonna lose. So just
okay. So I'll just pick the opposite of Christian on Iowa games.
Actually. I mean, Michigan State looked good early in the year. I think there was some hype around them, so I'm not surprised that they are winning games like this. But I thought Iowa had turned the corner because they had beat that Washington team that we were pretty happy with the week before, and they just came out and had a dud.
It's a Kirk Ferentz. What? How did you say that, Zach?
Kirk Ferentz.
Kirk Ferentz team.
Ferentz.
Yeah, he'll be there until he retires, or forced to retire, anyways. So that's last week's picks. It wasn't a great week, but it wasn't our worst week. So
no, there wasn't a lot of bleeding. So
no, we all went about 500-ish, except for Christian. Sorry, buddy. But you also have a 557 winning percentage.
I have the leeway. I had the runway to do it.
Yeah.
So
but the rest of us were all about 500. So, and this season, I couldn't even tell you. I don't even think the national pundits are doing well for picking in this year. So, okay. First up, boys, we're going into our picture. We have Nebraska at Ohio State. Ohio State is favored by 25.5, which makes sense after the beat down Nebraska just took from Indiana. And the over-under is set at 48.5 points. Cameron, we're going to start out with you for this game.
Well, Dylan Raiola really hasn't proved anything lately. 21 total points in his last 2 games isn't great. Even though Ohio State lost to Oregon, was their last game. They had a bye week. They've had plenty of time to prepare for this Nebraska team, and I'm I'm not really high on them anymore. I don't think that Nebraska will put up many points. It's kind of been the trend lately. And I don't think they'll be able to compete with Ohio State. I want to take the over because it's low, I think, for an Ohio State game. I just don't feel like Nebraska is going to put up more than 10. So I'm going to take Ohio State minus 25.5.
All right, I'll jump on next here. I was going to take Ohio State minus 25.5. This may or may not be a good pick, I guess. I think Ohio State's going to absolutely flack Nebraska, especially since they're going to be, at the Horseshoe. So I'm going to take Ohio State minus 25.5 here. Christian, what do you got?
I was thinking the over, but looking at the games that Ohio State has won against teams that they should beat, it's kind of been like they score 35 or so and they only give up maybe a garbage time touchdown. I'm looking at the Iowa and MSU games here. So that worries me because neither of those games would have covered a 48.5. So I'm going to go ahead and say that it's another one of those games where Nebraska might put up a touchdown or two, or a touchdown and a field goal or something, and then Ohio State puts up 30 or so. So I'm going to say Ohio State minus 25.
Okay. Zach, who do you got in this one?
Going off of what I've seen from Ohio State and Nebraska still sucks. They're getting better. I'll give them that. Next year, I think they're going to be a lot better of a team under Rule. I think Rail is going to be a lot better. They're still going to suck this year. I'm taking the under on this one.
Oh, my God.
That's actually... Hey, for Ohio State, though, this year, that's actually a decent pick.
I mean, I was going to pick the under no matter what. Just going off of what I've watched and what I've seen. And
he's going
Christian
off
told
field
me
this week,
the
remember?
Stats.
Yes,
I'm going off field. ESPN has not pulled up. So just going straight
Off
field.
the
So
dome.
I'm taking the under on this one.
Off the
I'll
dome.
probably take some, looks at some teams, but like the ones that I feel that are going to be easy, those ones I just go with my gut with. I typically
in this
do.
game, Cody.
That's true, because we had two games last week we thought were pretty much locks, and you got absolutely hammered on them. All right. Up next we have Washington at Indiana. Indiana is favored by 6.5, and the over/under is set at 53. Indiana is not going to have their starter, right?
Not this
they're not
game.
gonna have Rourke.
Correct, yeah.
Rourke is out.
Rourke is out. So we will take that into consideration here.
College game days here, by the way.
Oh yeah, College game day is going to be there. Congrats, Indiana.
First time in Indiana, isn't it?
Yeah, I personally, as much as I love that for Indiana, they should have done the Navy Notre Dame game.
I agree.
So, but I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to get teams their first shot. So
America cries at the
America
thought
does
that it
cry.
could have been at the Navy Notre Dame game.
So, anyways, I'm gonna go first here. I'm gonna take Indiana minus 6.5. I think Rourke is a great quarterback, and I know he's hurt, but I think that it's not just Rourke. That scheme on offense,
Yeah, it's a team.
is fantastic.
Yes. And their defense, by the way.
Their defense is really good too.
Amazing. Yes.
But I wasn't gonna go towards that because I was just going with like their starting quarterbacks up. But I think that scheme is just so good that guys are wide open all the time anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take Indy. I'm gonna take IU minus 6.5 this game. Zach, what do you got?
I'm also going to take IU minus 6.5. Like you said, I think that scheming is really good. I think the backup quarterback is still actually a good quarterback. Obviously, he's not on Rourke's level, but I think he's going to be able to complete the easy passes, carry them to at least a 21-point dub here. So I'm taking IU minus 6.5.
All right. Cam, who do you got?
Being without Rourke won't be much of a difference. Taven Jackson went 7 for 8, 91 yards, 2 tuds. So I think even though he's their backup, he'll be more than able to perform well under this offense. And Washington's really only beaten bad teams. And I mean, they lost to Rutgers, who isn't great. So That being said, I'll take IU minus 6.5 as well.
Christian, who do you got here?
I'm flirting with the over here. I'm thinking that Washington's offense is going to score in this game. Obviously, it's not going to be enough to hang with Indiana, but I don't know which is more of a sure thing: is Indiana minus 6.5 or the over. Taven Jackson has a 226 passer rating in the games that he's played. So I really don't think Indiana's going to be missing Rourke as much as some might think. I think this line is extremely favored towards Washington. I think this should have been at least a double-digit line. So I'm going to go with my gut. IU minus 6.5.
So another pick of the week there already. We're all agreeing this is kind of scary.
Yeah,
up next,
actually,
we
can I
got-
switch that? Because Zach picked it, so I have to switch.
Do it. Switch it.
Yeah.
Switch it.
Should I go with
Switch
the
it
over
right
on
now.
this one? I was flirting with it.
Take Washington money line.
I'll leave this. I'll leave this one specifically, but I will look out for that in the future.
All right, next up we have Illinois going to Oregon. Oregon is favored by 21.5 points. The over-under is set at 54.5. We're going to have Christian start this one off.
Oregon number 1. What is this? 2014?
Marcus Mariota.
DeAnthony Thomas.
Get it, Oregon?
I'm getting flashbacks. Right now to those highlight tapes.
I'm getting flashbacks to Zeke beating the shit out of Alabama.
Whoa. Potty mouth.
Wow. Yeah,
It
dude.
was for emphasis. Just so you know.
Cursing is a sign of a lack of intelligence. Use bigger words.
We are talking to Haynes, so
So I'm
be
clipping
fair-
I'm
to be
clipping that and
fair.
sending that to Tammy.
to be fair, they do say that people that are smarter tend to swear more. So there have been studies done.
who says that? The
Yeah.
Haynes?
Yeah, that's the Haim
I
family
do.
motto.
I'm going.
Oh, nice. Oh, he's
Whoa.
breaking it out today. Classic. 21
right.
and a half. That's ridiculous. Illinois is the 20th ranked team in the country. Can you believe that? The difference between 20 and 1 on home field is 21 points. That is insane to me. I can't believe that. That being said, no, I'm taking Illinois. I think this is way too big of a spread. I think Oregon is the best team in the country right now. Maybe. I'm thinking that. I'm leaning Georgia a little bit, but that might be my SEC bias speaking. The over-under is 54. I'm a little worried about that because Illinois' defense has been pretty stout. They've held some good teams to not so many points. And Oregon, we know, is great. So the under might be a good shout here, but I'm going to take Illinois plus 21.5. I think they're going to keep it close.
Yeah. Cam, who do you got in this one?
I was really hoping you weren't going to pick next. But, I like Oregon. Oregon's obviously top dog. They beat Ohio State, so it's kind of what brought them to the top. But I'm not impressed by Illinois' wins. It's been against a bad Michigan, bad Purdue, bad Nebraska, and then Central Michigan in their last 5. Sure, they held Penn State to 14 or to a loss by 14. But like Christian and I say all the time, Penn State's not good. Illinois does have a good defense. I'll give them that, but I think Oregon's just too high powered. And I think their defense has what it takes to hold them. I want to take the under.
Not hate the coward. Take the under.
I'm gonna take Oregon minus 21.5. See what happens.
Okay. Zach, who do you got?
I was thinking this could be the stupid pick of the week, but I'll hold off for another game. So, unlike Christian and Cam, I think Penn State is really good. I think they are top 4 in the country, possibly top 3.
Oh, Craig just said that's stupid.
All right. Well, I'm also gonna follow Christian here and take Illinois plus 21.5.
I'm changing mine.
Yeah, here we go.
Half of this is because I like messing with Christian, and half is because I think Illinois is going to put up a really good fight. They're well coached, so I'm gonna take Illinois plus 21.5. Christian, you can go ahead and change it. Be my guess.
I'm too confident in this that I can't change it because Altmaier doesn't turn the ball over, and that's how you get beat by that much is you turn the ball over, and he doesn't. So I don't know.
I'm going to take Illinois plus 21.5 here too.
Oh my God.
And that is because Brett Bielema like very rarely gets absolutely destroyed by teams. He might lose by 14 or 17, but he typically doesn't get beat by 3 to 4 touchdowns. Oh, that and with Meyer, having a good year, like I know like Oregon's defense is pretty good, but I wouldn't say that they're like, elite. So I think that Illinois' defense is going to keep them in it. And I think Altmaier is going to do enough to like not get beat by 22 points here. Because they can get beat by 3 touchdowns and give up a field goal after. So I'm taking Illinois plus 21.5 here.
The last time Purdue lost by 4 scores was Purdue last season. They lost 44-19. Yep. But you're correct. He doesn't usually get beat like that.
No, not typically. It's like a fluke game or whatever. And last year in the Big Ten West, every game seemed like a fluke game. So
the spoiler makers.
Dang spoiler makers. All right, up next, we have Maryland at Minnesota. Minnesota is favored -4 at home. And the over-under is set at 45.5. I'm going to start this one out, and I'm going to say Sky Yuma, Gophers win, Minnesota -4, and it's not even a question. We're going to go with Zach next year.
I just want to say you're a fake fan. Roll the boat. Roll the boat. I'm also going to take Minnesota at -4.5 here, playing at home. I think the Gophers have what it takes to succeed, and we finally found our winning ways. I can see us going. The rest of the season is going to be tough. We still have Wisconsin, Penn State, and Illinois, I believe, on the schedule. But those are for a different time. I'm going to take Minnesota -4.5. I think Gophers get it done at home.
You mean -4? So. Anyways, I would just like to throw out there that there is a real path that Minnesota could finish 8-4. And that would be what I would like my lowest benchmark for a successful season. We're gonna drop one of those games between Illinois and Penn State.
I think we win out.
Or Wisconsin.
We go to the playoffs.
Even if we win out, we're probably not going.
CFP, here we go. Well, we only have to win the Big Ten.
We only have to win. Yeah, only with Ohio State.
You only have to beat Oregon, Ohio State, or.
Well, I mean, if we beat Penn State,
or Indiana, or
if we beat the best team in the country, Penn State, I think we got it on lockdown.
I think you guys got to beat Maryland first.
Yeah, we do have to beat Maryland first.
You guys are talking like this is a foregone conclusion. I don't know if you guys saw, but they just beat USC.
So did we. They're not special.
Okay, but you guys had a pretty freaking hard time beating USC, so
beat them by a touchdown.
Okay.
Yes, so that's one score.
Here's the thing with this.
Better.
Here's the thing. I said there's a path to 8-4. I can see it happening. Doesn't mean that I'm saying it is going to happen.
I think preseason we were all pretty stoked about the schedule, but Maryland could be good. Illinois is ranked. Rutgers is the only free win I think you guys have the rest of the year. Wisconsin has looked borderline ranked, in my opinion.
Yeah, Wisconsin's looked really good, which is very bad to say.
Nothing is free the rest of the season, frankly. And in Piscataway, come on, that's a tough place to play. Let's be real.
I I think Maryland, Minnesota are about the same tier, I guess.
Yeah, and you guys are
Because
at home.
Northwestern also beat Maryland 37-10. And Northwestern is not that good of a team this year.
Hey, no, we love Northwestern.
They beat Villanova, an FCS team, by 18. They beat Virginia by 14. That's pretty good. They beat Michigan State, beat them by 3, and they beat UConn 50.
My grandpa went to Villanova.
It seems like they're like Minnesota. They're very up and down this year. So,
yes. But I'm just gonna quick pick, and then Cam can go.
Sorry about that.
This sucks. I want to take Maryland so bad, but I'm gonna stick with Minnesota. The bye week scares me. I'm worried that of the type of teams, I feel like Minnesota is the type of team that instead of getting the rest they so need, they might have lost their mojo. I think they needed the heat that they had cooking, winning those 2 games in LA or against LA teams. I'm a little bit worried. You gave me a look, Cody. You think that they're going to be just as on point as they were? You don't think they're looking ahead a little bit to Illinois here?
No, no. It's Maryland championship week. So
Wait,
you won't
say
row the boat, but you'll say that.
Right.
that's just flex.
Right.
That's flex mantra. Like row the boat is flex mantra. Maryland championship week. Every single coach has some form of do not overlook your opponent. This is who we play this week. So that's basically flex version of that.
Nobody else in the country says it the way that Fleck does. Like,
so when you're saying we're focused on the team this week, we have to beat this team this week, and Flex says we have to go 1-0 in Maryland championship week. It's the same thing, differently said. So
differently said.
Cam, who do you got in this one?
I didn't even pick yet.
Oh, I thought you said you were sticking with Minnesota. You just said that.
Well, I guess if you're picking for me, I guess I'm sticking for Minnesota.
No, go ahead, Christian. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I'm gonna stick with them. I'm gonna ride them till they die because I have to. Okay?
And I was gonna say Minnesota.
Yeah.
I'm legally obligated on the bylaws of the Dinkytown Sports Podcast contract that I have to support Minnesota. Okay, as much as it pains me, because the ghost of Talia lives within the walls of Maryland.
I would just like to point out Minnesota is typically pretty good out of the bye. Cam, who do you got in this one?
Homecoming. We're wearing our old style uniforms.
Electric.
Maryland is better without Talia, but they won't be better enough to beat Minnesota this week.
Better enough.
I hope Talia's having fun playing in whatever Russian football league he's in right now. And I hope he looks back at this game and thinks, geez, that dude from that small podcast with his 3 buddies, he knew something about me. Maryland sucks.
Who's getting a call right now, live?
Yeah.
And that's all I have to say.
He plays in Canada, okay? He's not bad enough. He needs to be in the Siberian gridiron football league. Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was Canada, but I needed to Google it to make sure.
He's on the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Does he start?
Is he a starter?
That's a great question. I will find out for you. I'll look up the Hamilton Tiger Cats stats.
All right. While he's doing that, we are going to jump into our next game here. We have number 3 Penn State going to Camp Randall to take on the Wisconsin Skunks. All right. Zach, who do you got in this one?
He does not. I just want to point out, I looked it up, and he does not play. He's 1-for-1 with 6
He does
yards.
not start? That's crazy.
Cam knows something.
Okay, let's be real. Their quarterback has 5,000 passing yards.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I know it's easier. Yes, I know it's easier in the CFL because of the pre-snap motion rules.
Mm-hmm.
He does have 17 picks to 31 touchdowns. I really don't think you'd be worse off with Talia. The Hamilton Tiger Cats need to get something.
That's a Jameis Winston stat right there.
Yeah, he's
5,000 yards is insane.
Well, have you watched the CFL and how they can play pre-snap? They can do like 8 motions at once, and you can run as the ball snapped through the line of scrimmage. It's
really
crazy.
cool. And they only have 3 downs to get a first down, too. Yeah. The CFL's crazy, dude. All right. So we have number 3, Penn State at Wisconsin. Zach, Penn State favored by 6.5. Over-under is 47.5. What do you got here, buddy? I think I already know what you're doing.
I'd hope so. I just told you Penn State is the best team in the country. I don't mean that. But they are top 3. So Penn State minus 6.5. This will be a very good test. Wisconsin's playing good. I still think Penn State comes out on top, and Penn State finds a way to make it into the Big Ten championship.
Oh. Okay, well, they're nowhere near close to locking that up, so that's cool. Okay. Christian, who do you got in this one?
I'm going to see a lot of this in Camp Randall for Wisconsin. I'm getting a Tywee jersey shipped to my house. Wisconsin's beating the brakes off Penn State this week.
Okay.
I think 6.5 is disgraceful. Penn State has looked terrible. Vegas doesn't know anything.
My super picks. I think that's more super than my super picks.
No, it's really not. Penn State has not been good this year.
Tywee Walker is cooking.
Undefeated.
Yeah, who have they played?
They don't pass the eye test.
Kent State. They beat Kent State bad. You should be mad. You should be mad. You should be mad.
Don't you hate him, Mike? Don't you hate him,
Kent State sucks.
The Golden Flashes, baby.
You aren't even the worst team in the nation. All right.
Yeah. Thank you, Kennesaw. Kennesaw, the other K-State. The other K-State.
Yeah.
Don't you dare hate him, Mike. Golden Flashes. All right. I will take no Golden Flashes slander here.
I like Braden Locke. I like how he pushes the ball down the field. He's a little errant in his throws. He throws picks a little bit too often for me. He's a Jameis Winston type, not Bo Levi Mitchell for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. But I think the run game is going to be too much for Penn State. I think being at Camp Randall is going to be too much for Penn State. The weather's supposed to be nice. Never mind, it's raining, finally. It's been a month, I think, since it's rained anywhere in the country. Since the Hurricanes.
Yeah.
Anywho, Wisconsin. This is the freest pick of the week, in my opinion.
All right.
Just wait till it doesn't happen there.
All right. I'm hopping into this. Zach, you don't know ball. You have the worst winning percentage, so don't start talking shit. Don't start talking crap here, buddy.
I will talk as much crap as I want to.
Christian's choking on some water there. Christian's dying, guys.
Oh my God.
Are you okay, Christian? Christian, are you okay? Okay, so I'm gonna take the Skunks. I'm gonna take the Skunks plus 6.5 here. Christian is right.
I will as well.
Penn State.
Oh my God, guys! What are we doing?
Zach, shut your face.
You shut your face.
Penn State, even when they're playing other teams, don't blow people out. So even if they win, it's going to be by less than 6 points to Wisconsin at home. Yeah, Camp Randall's going to be going nuts. Penn State,
Illinois by 14.
Penn State, perennially overrated. No, Penn State is overrated every year. They are.
No.
They were over when they came to Minnesota. They're ranked number 4 in the CFP, but they're ranked like 10 in the AP poll. Like, Penn State's always overrated.
Doesn't matter at that time. It's just the CP poll matters at that time. And Minnesota was a really good team when they came here, so you can't say nothing. We beat Auburn
whatever I want
that year.
God, I can say whatever I want. Christian, I'm glad you're still alive.
They lose like close. 2 games every year, and those 2 teams are top 3 in the country for the past 3 years. So I don't want to hear anything about Penn State's always overrated. Yeah, they can't win against those 2 teams, and like I hate the fact because Penn State's my favorite out of those 3 teams. But still, they're still a really good football team and compete with anybody in the nation.
Wrong.
Anybody in the nation.
Zach is a Penn State glazer.
No, I just hate the Penn State. I hate the Penn State slander. Like, don't get me wrong. I do like Penn State more than like most of the other good teams in the Big Ten. But I hate the slander that they get year in, year out because they can't beat Michigan and Ohio State, who are top 3 in the country consistently.
Sounds like great teams find ways to win, right?
Yes, and those other teams that they're playing are greater teams.
Greater teams, yeah.
Zach
Yeah, who do
State
you got?
college, buddy.
Who do you got this one, Cameron?
I'm taking Wisconsin. If
Yeah,
it's going to be a ground game,
I can't wait till
if
it
it's
doesn't
going to
hit.
be a ground game, crazy enough, I like Walker more than Singleton right now. Walker he really hasn't done anything.
He's
His
not even
yards,
there. I was just wanted to point out, Katron Allen is like doing way better than him this year.
which is no surprise because Atron Allen was performing well at the end of last year. I'm pretty sure too. It just happened to be a position battle, and I mean, if you got a two-headed monster, I mean, more power to you. If you want to run the ball the entire game, might as well go do it because you're gonna have stamina on your side, and you're just gonna be able to run through that Penn State defense.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got to start hustling a little bit here. We're kind of taking a minute. No, we're good. Next up, we got Michigan State at Michigan. Michigan is finally not ranked. Thank you. Jeez. Anyways, Michigan is favored by 3.5 with an over-under set at 40.5. I don't know what I want in this game, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. Michigan's not great. Michigan State, I think the line is pretty good, 3.5. With them being at the big house. I don't really want to look at the stats because when I do that, I always screw it up. All right, and I'm only saying because they're at the big house. If they're in Sparty land, I would take Michigan State, but I'm gonna take Michigan minus 3.5 here. Cam, who do you got in this one?
Yeah, the big house. It's definitely a plus, especially in these kind of games against Michigan State. Michigan State's honestly impressed me this year. They've done a lot better than what I first had them out to be. I had them at the low end of the Big Ten, but their Iowa win was impressive. I'll give them credit for that. Michigan's been awful. I mean, they barely beat us, barely beat USC, and then they lost to Washington. So it's tough. It's tough to pick Michigan, but with how big of a rivalry this game is, I feel like they're going to come in with the edge to them and play like the older style Michigan that they used to be. I mean, they kind of strayed away this year, but I'm going to take Michigan here and hope for the best.
All right, I'm gonna jump in here before Christian goes. Sorry, Christian, but I'm gonna take MSU plus 3.5 here. I think MSU is coming off a really big win against Iowa, and they showed some stuff to me that game. Michigan clearly has not been good. Their passing game sucks. So I'm gonna take Michigan State plus 3.5 here.
I hate to say it, but I'm following Michigan State.
Oh, jeez. I'm really, Cam, I'm like how this is shaping up for us here, big guy.
Yeah.
Christian and Zach agreeing while we agree went pretty well for us last week.
I'm going off a different thing now, so my picks. My picks could be amazing. You don't know.
To be fair, this game is almost a coin flip to me. But I just think Michigan. I give them the edge with being at home. That's pretty much what it is. If Michigan State was at home, I'd give them the edge. So, anyways, moving on. Next up, we got Syracuse at 19 Pitt. Pitt is favored by 6, and the over/under is set at 62.5. Christian, we'll have you start out with this ACC matchup.
Thanks for giving me the New York team to
yeah,
pick
buddy.
first. I appreciate it. I think you're looking at two of the better QBs around right now. I think Holstein's had a great year. McCord obviously has had a great year. I think he still leads college in passing. Pitt's looked really good, man. I think they're fleshed out. I don't know that they've played a really tough schedule.
But they beat Kent State.
Who did? Pitt?
Pitt.
Wow. Everyone's running through your team, huh?
Quite literally, yes.
Why would
Tennessee
you
also
even bring
beat-
that up?
Yeah.
Just don't worry about it.
Reminder.
I got it.
This team I
Yeah.
support
Still
got
sucks.
destroyed.
My really bad football team got killed this game. Just saying.
Yeah, as much as that doesn't help me. Syracuse, I think, has played better competition. Pitt beating Cal, who were looking really, really good going into that game, doesn't prove a ton because it was close, but that's a good win. UNC is not healthy. Youngstown State, obviously, is not huge.
They're not
Neither
even
is
good
West
in the
Virginia.
FCS.
I think Pitt's just ranked based off of the 0 in the loss column. Obviously, good teams win, but I think this is the first real test that they'll face. Holstein's thrown 5 picks already against their pretty weak competition, so I'm thinking that the Syracuse defense is gonna come out and attack. Obviously, they lost to Stanford, but I'm gonna say that that's their fluke game, and they probably should be undefeated too. I'm going to take Syracuse here.
All right. So of these two teams, the only team that I did watch was Syracuse, and that was when Syracuse was taking on UNLV in that thriller.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really good game.
UNLV got screwed out of that game.
That was a very good game. And in fact, we're picking their game next too. Yeah, I'm going to go with Syracuse +6. They looked UNLV. I know they're not ranked right now, but UNLV looks like a really good team. I don't think that they should be unranked with that close loss to Syracuse. I think Syracuse probably should be, ranked too, somewhere in there, somewhere in the 20s,
Over Vandy?
No, not over Vandy. Vandy should be in there. They deserve it. But I'm just saying that, there's a few teams that are outside the top 25 that could easily be a top 25 team.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Syracuse here. Pitt just hasn't done enough for me. All their games have been pretty dang close. And I think this time Syracuse is going to catch them on that. Because it's like the Vikings, with Kirk Cousins. We went 13-4. We won a ton of one-score games. It is not a sustainable thing. So give me Syracuse +6. Cam, who do you got?
I'm going to take Syracuse +6 as well. Syracuse plus money seems very nice to me. I'm not too high on Pitt, so I'm very interested in seeing if Syracuse will be ranked after this win this week.
All right, Zach.
All right. Christian is sweating his nuts off right now. Me and him have picked very, very similar this week, and it's not going to change. I will also be taking Q's.
Oh my god!
I think you guys
Got a
only have.
squad wipe.
Hold on.
I don't mind the picks of the week if Zach picks them. If we're all on the same page, I don't mind that. But if it's just Zach and I, like in the, I think we did that once already.
Mhm.
In the Michigan State,
No,
Michigan is
yeah.
absolutely going to win that game. Like I would bet a lot of money that Michigan is
I
gonna
think
win that.
this week we're gonna have more
Picks of the week than usual.
more picks of the week than any week because we are all in agreement
We're
with what's
cooking.
going on right now.
We would have had the Illinois game if Cam wasn't an idiot.
Yeah, Cam. We could have all picked the
Yeah.
team together,
Yeah.
except for the Michigan State game. I guess that's the only one where I think we went 2-2 so far. So, all right,
Wait,
up
which
next,
team?
the Michigan State game because it's a coin flip and the picks reflect that this week. All right,
Okay.
up next we have number 17 Boise State at UNLV. Gene T, the Michael Myers of running backs, is a stud and deserves to win the Heisman more than pretty much anyone in the country right now. I know they're throwing it up for Cam Ward, but Gene T's doing something that we haven't seen in our lifetime. So, yeah. Okay, so the lines for this game, Boise State -3.5. The over-under is at 64.5. And the one knock I've been seeing on Gene T is that he hasn't done it against, good schools. He ran all over Oregon. He ran all over Oregon. I think if you put him on any team in the SEC, he's still running all over teams. This dude's just a beast. So, with that being said, gosh, I really don't want to pick against the Rebels here, but I have to. Boise State -3.5. I think it's a pretty locked pick. I know UNLV is good, but no one has been able to slow down Gene T yet. So give me Boise State -3.5 here. Zach, what do you got in this one?
So I'm also taking Boise State -3.5. Pretty big here, but I'm just gonna let y'all know. I'm gonna tell somebody to put a parlay down on the opposite of all my picks, so they don't happen.
I'm on it, pal.
Don't worry, I'm not making any money off of the NCAA. I'm looking at you.
Yeah, I would never give anything to Zach anyway.
No, yeah.
All right, Christian, who do you got in this matchup?
I'm looking at the over under here, and it's looking real high, and I think it's gonna be higher. I think when you look at these two teams and the amount of points that they can put up. So for reference, Haj Malik Williams started the Fresno State game. That was his first game that he really played in, and look at the amount of points they've scored in every game since then. No one's been able to stop them. Fresno State was a really good team, and they dropped a nearly 60 burger on them. I think that's very impressive. And then you look over at Boise State. Obviously, the Hawaii game is a little confusing, but I think that was just so out of hand that it wasn't even that big of a deal. But they put up points big time. I think 32 points on each side is not a tall order for these two teams. So I'm going to take the over here, a rare over pick for me, because I usually don't pick over-unders. I stick to the spreads. But I think that points aplenty are coming here.
So before Cam goes here quick, this is going to be must-watch football, I think.
Pac-12
UNLV,
after dark.
If that's what it's going to feel like, well, it's going to be the new Pac-12, but...
Okay. That might sway me to change my pick, because Pac-12 after dark, and it brings up some wild things.
It's 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. So
I mean, to be fair, though, Boise State, their offense is pretty simple. We're going to give the ball to Gene T, and he's just going to run all over you.
That's all you need to do.
And I love it.
Dude, Maddox, that's his name? Maddox Madsen, Cam's long-lost cousin.
Yeah.
He has 160 pass attempts. That's like nothing really to scoff at.
No.
And all he has to do is run a play action, and he's got a box loaded for Gene T.
I was gonna say they might start trying to sneak 12 to 13 guys to put in on the box.
But what you said rings true, Cody. That the fact that Gene T and Boise State overall could do what they did against Oregon, that's impressive. That's really impressive to me.
Yeah.
So they're good.
I think we kind of gave Oregon a hard time for that Boise State game back before we knew what Gene T was. So
I think before we knew what Gene T was, and I don't think Oregon had hit their stride yet at that point.
Yeah, that too. It's a combination, but I still think if they played now, it would still be a semi-close game.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's going to be a very close game.
All right, Cam, who do you got in this one?
Well, this is a huge game because it's whoever wins this takes sole possession of first place in the Mountain West. One thing I know is us Madsons are really good at just hand off. When you got a dog in the backfield, you feed the damn horse. So I'm taking Boise State. Gene T's looked really great this year. Obviously, almost 1,300 yards and 17 touchdowns in 6 games is absolutely nuts. He keeps it up. He could almost rush for 3,000 yards, which is absolutely insane. Just imagine if he would have played through all of the games and not getting taken out at end of the first half, end of the third quarter. Like, there were so many garbage yards he could have put up.
That's the curse of being good and your team beating teams bad. That happens a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll take Boise State -3.5.
And to me, that just makes Gene T even more impressive for the numbers he puts up.
I wouldn't be surprised if UNLV covers here.
Yeah. What's that?
I wouldn't be surprised. You probably can on FanDuel. I haven't looked, but I wouldn't be surprised if UNLV hangs in there. I think that since Haj Malik Williams has come in, that they've really looked good.
I think it's a good line. I just think that Boise State's gonna win by more than 3.5. So I think it's going to be a good game. Up next, we have the game that I think
America's game.
Yeah, this game definitely should have had College Game Day. It is the number 12 ranked Notre Dame Fighting Catholics taking on the number 24 Navy Midshipmen, undefeated Navy Midshipmen. Also, Marines are included in there, so we'll start that out there. This is going to be an interesting game. I mean, I know Navy hasn't, played the greatest competition, but they typically smack around their competition. Not quite like Army does. Army's been absolutely insane with how they're beating teams. Army can actually somewhat throw the ball, which is crazy. But anyways, the line for this game is Notre Dame -13, and the over-under is set at 51.5, which is crazy for a triple option team game. So I don't know what I want to do here. Christian, you could start this one off, buddy.
Thanks.
You're the closest to Annapolis.
Am I? Maryland,
yes.
Yeah, Maryland, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to pick Navy here, obviously, but they have not played a team that has the guys on offense that Notre Dame does, and I feel like that might be an issue. Do I think Notre Dame's going to be able to stop Navy? I don't think so. Maybe they'll do a little better job than other teams have. Like, obviously there's a formula because Air Force kind of stopped them a little bit. They only gave up 34, lol. But Riley Leonard has not looked very good. So I think if you're ever going to beat a number 12 ranked Notre Dame team, this is the number 12 Notre Dame team you're going to beat. But I just don't see it happening. I don't know. It's like so insane to think that it could happen that I don't think it will. So
yeah, I don't know. This one's weird. I'm just gonna.
You know what? I'm gonna take Navy +13. I don't think they're gonna win, but I think it's gonna be close because there's not gonna be a lot of possessions.
No,
I think the under here is a good pick. So I don't know. Yeah, go Navy.
I will go next. I am also going Navy, and here's why. So Navy has a 9% chance of winning at home, but that's not the stat that I'm looking at that's making me go, maybe I should pick Navy. So their quarterback is 46 of 72 for 888 yards and 10 touchdowns, 1 pick in a triple option offense. He has a little under 300 yards less than Riley Leonard does, and he runs a more pass-happy offense, obviously.
Right.
Their running back, Horvath, 79 carries, 621 yards, 10 touchdowns.
That is
leading
also
receiver.
Their quarterback, by the way.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, triple option, guys. It's weird to me. Heidenreich, great name. Very, very German. He has 23 catches, 485 yards, and 5 touchdowns. I think Navy's going to keep this within 13. And I could possibly see Navy winning this game. I don't think that's like out of the realm of possibility, especially with it being at home. But I'm going to take Navy +13 here. I am obviously hardcore cheering for Navy here. I would love to see an undefeated Army-Navy game this season. Well, the AAC championship game, at least, before they play each other again the next week. So, I'm going to take Navy +13 here. Cam, who do you got?
Well, this might rattle some people, but I'd like to start it off with at least somebody's using MetLife Stadium in the fall. Second off, I want to see Navy win. So, for your guys' sake, I'm going to try to reverse jinx it.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm going to take Notre Dame -13, but with hopes that I jinx it enough for Navy to actually win this game, because I want to see Navy win. I want to see them succeed. and keep making this top 25 push because it's really fun to see teams that aren't normally in it, especially Army Navy. Like, it's been quite a while. So I'm going to take one for the team, and I'm going to take Notre Dame in hopes that Navy wins.
How noble.
Thank you. You are sacrificing
saint.
yourself. You're a great guy. I would just like to say, I think it would be hilarious if Notre Dame lost to both Navy and Army this year. I would absolutely love every second of it.
There's a really good chance. So.
Yeah, Army looks really good. I think Army looks better than Navy. And I'm questioning Notre Dame with Navy, so. All right, Zach, who do you got on this one?
I'm going to be completely honest with you. My whole strategy for this pick was to pick the opposite of Christian, so I'm also taking Notre Dame minus 13.
Well, we do know
that helps
that
me.
Navy's going to hit now.
That helps me, yeah.
Navy's definitely going to hit now.
I'm also hoping that Navy wins, so I will be happy with a loss on this game.
Zach just be the sacrifice? Can I go to the other side?
You can go to the other side. Zach could be the sacrifice.
Oh, no.
The funniest part is, guys, I'm picking off feelings, so, I picked good when I picked off feelings at the beginning of the year, so who knows? Maybe I'm going to go undefeated.
Your feeling on that one was pick against the guy who's been cooking all season.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, we are very.
You're not having another bounce back week.
Dude, we're gonna have
going 4-7 again.
Our records are gonna be very similar this week, boys. Okay, so up next we have number 21. This is interesting, by the way, because we could possibly see a higher ranked Navy than Alabama after this week, which would be nuts.
Electric.
So we got number 21 Missouri at Alabama here. Bama's still favored by 16.5. I'm sorry, Christian. These lines are driving me up a wall with Bama because they suck. I hate these lines.
Makes it easier to pick, actually.
Yeah. The over-under is set at 51.5.
That seems right. Personally,
yeah.
The over-under does.
Christian, you're the Alabama fan and the SEC expert here. What do you got?
Alabama sucks. Missouri plus 16.
To be fair, Missouri also sucks right now.
They are going to suck enough.
Both these teams look really bad. Yeah,
they're going to suck. Missouri's going to suck less than Alabama.
I think they're going to suck less enough to lose by less than 16.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, Christian's been typically right about these Bama games, all throughout the year. He's been pretty spot on with Bama, besides once or twice. So I'm going to go with Christian here just because he's been pretty on it. I mean, as he should be with his team. He's not crazy like us, where we sometimes just let our emotions hey, we're just going to pick this because our emotions are telling us to. Me and Cam with the Michigan game. We were so heartbroken after that Iowa game. We're no, we're just picking Michigan. We don't even care. So I'm going to go Missouri plus 16.5 here too. Cam, who do you got?
Christian, you said, oh, shoot. Hold on one second. I lost my page. You said Melrose out, correct?
No, I said that. I said he's playing hurt. And
yeah.
Oh.
And nobody said anything, but I think it's pretty obvious that he is, at least banged up a lot. I don't know if he's injured per se, but he's definitely not nearly as mobile.
Yeah, 16.5 is quite a bit. I'm going to take the over. I'm going to play a risky game here.
Respectable.
Alabama and Missouri haven't been able to score points recently. That is very risky. It's 51.5, by the way.
I would just like to point out that the last time Bama gave me a good pick was that Georgia game. So
I think most people. I think I was in denial for a minute, and then the South Carolina game, I picked South Carolina. You're right. These lines are ridiculous.
Yeah,
I think Alabama can beat Missouri by like a touchdown or 10 maybe, or 13, but they're not beating them by 16.
Not 17.
Yeah, that's a tall task.
Yeah.
Sorry, 17.
Yeah, or Zach, who do you got in this one, buddy?
boys. My favorite time of the week because
Stupid
I
pick
get
of
to
the
be even more stupid than normal. So last week I was stupid and went Tennessee minus 20 and a half. I think it was a very good stupid pick. Could have happened, but both teams went down the drain. Still have yet to be found. Missouri's walking into Bryant-Denny Stadium. They're winning the game by 14. I'm taking Mizzou minus 13 and a half. Saban's not dead yet, but he's rolling over in his grave. Yeah.
That's so funny. He's been spot on with those.
I'll give you that one.
I mean, I don't
funny.
think picking against Alabama is even that stupid. Like, they have not looked good at all. I think the numbers, your numbers have been
Bama
egregious.
sucks. Mizzou sucks less.
I don't know, because I feel like this is a similar situation where you're thinking that Bama is so bad, but the other team is also bad. I think that Tennessee is also bad, and I think Missouri is also bad. I think
guys, it's stupid pick of the week.
Can you rethink this?
It's stupid. It's stupid.
It is stupid pick of the week here.
Mizzou money line is stupid because they're 16.5-point dogs. That is a stupid.
That's fine.
Pick.
I want it. That is too realistic. That is too realistic. I need it stupider.
It's so realistic.
Zach wants it so stupid that we think about institutionalizing him.
I think about that regularly.
Guys,
so.
That's true.
I get one pick of the week to be very stupid.
Yeah,
so
you have like 8 or 9 every week.
I want them to be outlandishly bad.
Okay.
Because when it does hit, I can say you guys are stupid.
Okay. So Zach took Mizzou minus 13.5. I took Mizzou plus 16.5. Christian took Missouri plus 16.5, and Cam took the over 51.5 in that game.
I feel like the over is pretty sensible.
That's
Cam just has sensible picks. He's a sensible guy with sensible picks.
He's probably the most sensible out of all of us. Let's be fair.
Yeah, his record reflects
boys.
that.
Yeah. I was just talking about general.
Your overall is still going to go up, or your percentage is still going to go up.
Right.
True. It's not like Zach's where it's just continuously taking a nosedive.
I've had a winning week in like 4 or 5 weeks, but I'm only 42 and 48. So honestly, like that's not bad for how bad.
No, you're not out of it yet. You're not.
We just like making fun of you because you've been so bad recently with all the crap you talked when you started.
I mean, that's how good I was at the beginning, though.
All right, next up we got number 5, Texas at Vandy. This game's a lot more interesting than I would have thought going into the season. Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right, so Texas is favored by 18.5, which I think is absolutely crazy with how good Vandy's been playing against teams. Like, I know they had that one stinker against, who was that?
Georgia State.
Georgia State, yeah, they had a stinker there. But besides that, they've been playing everyone, like, close.
Ball State was a little interesting, too. Their most recent
Yeah, but it's weird how they went from Ball State to, like, just playing well in the SEC, you know what I mean? Like, they've been playing well recently.
Yeah, maybe they had a hangover.
It happens. I mean, they found their groove, kind of like Minnesota 2019. We one-score games, all non-con, then we found our groove and started beating the crap out of everybody.
So anyways, Texas favored by 18.5. The over-under is set at 52.5 this game. Christian, SEC guy, go ahead and take it. You have the next 2 first ones, so.
Texas is not going to overlook Vandy. I think that mistake was made by Bama. I think they're on everyone's radar now. They're coming off a rough loss. They're going to want to stamp their name back in the books. It's an SEC matchup. It's a must win, I think, if you want to be in the SEC championship if you're Texas. 18.5 is odd for me. Because you're right, Vandy has been playing teams close. But I'm going to go with the over. I think the over is fairly safe. I'm a little disgusted by the offensive performance last week from Texas, so I'm scared to take it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Vandy, they're good. I think Bama's bad to the point that it makes them look a little bit better than they actually are. I think they're more like the team beating Kentucky 20-13, not the team beating Bama 45 to whatever. I think Texas is going to win, and it's possible they win by 21, I think. So.
Okay. Cam, who do you got in this one?
Do we know who's starting at quarterback? Because I know
I think it's going to be Ewers for sure.
Yeah,
They didn't leave Manning in the whole game. They only let him play like a series before half, and then Ewers came back in.
And it's not like Manning looked that great either, so.
Nah, yeah, he was like, okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, 18.5 is quite a bit. I don't mind Vandy. I was actually thinking the opposite of Christian here and was thinking the under, just because Texas has a good D, and their quarterback play has been questionable. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna take the under here.
Okay. I'm gonna go next.
Good college try here, 52.5 under.
I'm gonna take the over in this game here. Because here's my thing.
Potty mouth.
You're good. We're way into it. Anyways. Yeah, so this game bugs me because I could see Texas winning it by 19 points. I could see Texas winning it by 17 and it just being a bad beat. I think Pavia is a good quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I think Vandy has figured some stuff out on offense. Like, I know they've had some clunkers, but when they've played, better teams, they've kind of risen to the occasion. Because Alabama, we say Alabama sucks. We say Alabama sucks to Alabama standards. To me, Bama's still a top 25 team. Okay. Zach's crazy, but I think Bama's still a top 25 team. And this is the best Vandy has looked in a long time. And to me, Vandy doesn't have anything to lose because they're just not good typically. So I'm going to take the over because I think points will be scored. I think Ewers will bounce back. Texas could very well win this by 21, but I could see Vandy keeping it tight too. So, because they run that weird triple option style offense quite a bit, which Nick Saban talked about. These players that are playing haven't seen this. The triple option hasn't been around for years, and now they're going to a modernized version of the triple option. So it's interesting. Zach, who do you got in this one?
I think guys are just neglecting on wanting to take Texas minus 18.5. So don't worry, I'll be the one to do it. I'll be taking Texas minus 18.5. Vandy's glory run is over. Unfortunately, it was good while it lasted. Texas wins by 3 or 4 scores, especially after the beatdown they took last week.
Zach's a hater.
Not a hater, just realistic.
Zach doesn't want any. Zach will sit here and say that Penn State is a top 3 team, and then he's saying he's going to be realistic. So keep that in mind, everyone.
Texas beating Vandy by 18.5. Yeah, I think that's pretty realistic.
Penn State being a top 3 team is imaginary.
I absolutely think they're ranked 3rd right now. Clearly, the AP poll is saying that they think they're the 3rd best team in the nation too.
Rated. So, anyways, next up we have LSU at Texas A&M. Christian, this one's for you, my guy. Who do you got in this one?
This one's so awesome because I'm really high on both of these teams. I think I've picked correctly on both of these teams' games for like 4 weeks now. LSU beating Arkansas that bad last week was impressive, but we know how I feel about Texas A&M. I'm a Texas A&M truther because I like Mike Elko. I like their defenses. I was low on Nussmeier earlier in the year. They flipped the switch for me. I think LSU has a chance to win the SEC this year, but Texas A&M also does. Wegman is starting. I don't know why. He played good in one game. They brought him back for, I believe it was the Missouri game. And he played fantastic. And then he came out last week and had a stinker. I don't know what they're thinking. I think they should have rode with Marcel Reed. I think Mississippi State, by the way, is the best 1-16 country in team in the country. I don't
Did
like.
You say that about UCLA?
Well, now they're 1-7, aren't
I
they?
suppose they're no.
Or they're 1-6 now.
They're two wins.
Okay,
Don't
so
they
then
two-
there you go. My point stands.
Yeah.
Mississippi State has taken up the mantle. I don't like Wegman. I think Nussmeier is going to have problems with the Elko defense. I gotta take LSU plus 2.5.
Okay, I'm gonna also take LSU plus 2.5 here. Just from the quarterback situation, because like I know you like the Elko defense, but LSU is still gonna put up some points because they are a good offensive team.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm gonna take LSU plus 2.5 just from the quarterback situation.
It's just too many questions.
Yeah.
On Texas A&M's side right
And
now.
Missouri's not as good as people thought they were gonna be too. So it's
Right.
not like having a good game against, because Boston College played a great game against Missouri, and Boston College isn't ranked anymore either.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take LSU plus 2.5. Zach, who do you got?
I'm the exact opposite of Christian. I think both of these two teams suck and are overrated. Unfortunately, since they both suck and are both overrated, I still have to pick one of them. So I'm not going to pick either of them. I'm going to take the over here. I think there's going to be points scored in this game.
Okay, Zach's still weird for saying that Penn State is not overrated, but everyone else is overrated.
This week is I'm gonna have so many clips and I'm gonna send them to him.
Zach is gonna
So
if Penn State loses
and
and
LSU
LSU
wins.
is good,
Yeah.
he's gonna get absolutely destroyed by us on Monday.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm going to do it with confidence, all right? Penn State's top 3 in the nation. Going to end up in the Big Ten championship. I've been saying it all year. It's going to happen.
Wrong. Okay,
Yeah.
Cam, who do you got here?
If Notre Dame was starting oh my gosh, if A&M was starting a different quarterback this week, I feel like I'd have a better chance with taking A&M, but I think their defense will be able to keep them in close. But if they're not going to be able to move the ball, I feel LSU is going to wear out that defense, and it's just going to become a scoring fest. And I don't think TAMU is going to be able to keep up. So I will take LSU as well.
Notre Dame getting a lot of guest appearances in these games.
I don't understand why they even started Wegman against Missouri.
I don't know.
Because
They're just trying to decoy everybody.
Marcel Reed played fine against Arkansas and they won that game. I just don't get it. I don't know what they think they have with him. Because they're just going to lose this game, and then they're going to have to start Marcel Reed the rest of the season anyway, when you could have won this game and been alone at the top of the SEC. I don't understand. If they start Wegman, they're making a huge, huge mistake. And I'm going to clip this when he's playing bad, and I'm going to send this out to Twitter and be like, who could have guessed that their terrible quarterback was going to be terrible against a team that they needed to win? And the fact that they're favored blows my mind.
Mm-hmm.
We know we know LSU can't run the ball, but it's really not going to make that much of a difference. Nussmeier is so good through the air, and I think their talent, like Kyron Lacey, is so good. I don't know. This one's confusing to me.
This, like, the line to me with like who's like the starting quarterback situation. Had they started their backup, or who's going to be the backup on Saturday, I think Texas A&M minus 2.5 is a pretty good line. But with flipping this, I would almost say LSU minus 3, just easily. You know what I mean? Like, that's a 5.5 point flip.
Like this is a very obvious mistake. I think. I think obviously I'll eat my words if Wegman plays well. I mean, LSU's defense isn't like fantastic, but it's good enough. They've held some okay. Like they held UCLA to 17 points. Like, that's pretty impressive. South Carolina is a really good team. They just held Arkansas, who's a pretty good team, to 10. I don't know. I feel unwell about them starting Wegman.
Okay. All right. So we're going to hop into our last game of the week here. We had quite a few games. Like, there's another game that we were looking at, too, that we were talking about putting in, but we're like, we have a lot of games already. There's a lot of, like, really good matchups this week, whether ranked or unranked, for record-wise and just, team-wise here.
Mm-hmm.
We have BYU, number 11 BYU at UCF after the stinker of last week for BYU. Yeah, UCF is favored by 2 this game against the number 11 team in the country. That's pretty crazy. And the over-under is set at 55.5. I'm going to go first with this one. I think BYU had a clunker last week. I think they're going to bounce back this week against UCF. I think favoring UCF in this game at all is kind of disrespectful. I could see like a BYU -3, -2.5. No, UCF -2. Nope. Give me BYU +2 here. Christian, who do you got?
I think they're basing a lot of the UCF off of their game last week, obviously. Them being able to put up that many points in Iowa State is impressive because Iowa State has had a really good defense this year. I think I agree with you. I think it's a little bit silly, the line. I think Iowa State, that's their clunker, I'm going to say. And where they just didn't have that great of a game on defense. I think BYU pretty solidly wins this game. Retzlaff didn't have a good game last week, and Ollie Gordon played up to his potential, which can beat anyone really if they can get on the ground with how good he is. So, yeah, overreaction. BYU,
yeah,
for sure.
All right, Cam, who do you got?
So the only thing that scares me with BYU, I'm going to start off with, I'm going to take BYU minus the 2, or plus the 2, sorry. If the weather is rainy, I think UCF has a much superior run game with RJ Harvey in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
He's almost got 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns. BYU's rush game really hasn't been impressive. So that scares me. If it's really coming down and throwing the ball is limited, that scares me where I would take UCF. But as we say on this podcast, good teams are going to find a way to win. So I'm going to take BYU -2, and hopefully the rain goes away.
+2. All right, Zach, who do you got in
Thank
this
you.
one?
I just want to say it's great teams find a way to win consistently. So, speaking of that,
Keep adding caveats to that.
Yeah.
consistently find ways to win.
Great teams consistently
doing that.
win on Thursdays and Fridays when it's raining and the weather is less than 70 degrees.
Yeah.
But only when they're not playing other great teams.
Right. Yeah.
That is an actual statement because great teams will find a way to win, and both teams are great teams. I think one great team will find a way to win.
But not my great team every single time.
Well, I mean, maybe. But anyways, I'm going to be different here with you guys. I'm going to take UCF -2 here. I think Vegas knows something that we don't. And I was going to take BYU right off the bat. I know UCF had a great game against Iowa State. Unfortunately, they lost. But I think UCF is going to pull this one out. I just had a feeling to go with it. And got to go with my feelings today.
Okay. So, I'm feeling better about my BYU +2 now. So our lovely social media manager is going to have a lot of pick of the weeks for us this week. I hope you all have a good week, because if any of us have a really bad week, we all have a really bad week.
Yeah, we're screwed.
I would say that. I got a lot of different picks. And
Yeah, thank
Well,
God.
You have one. I'm just doing like the lines, not over unders. I don't really count those as different picks. So
I mean,
let's see. You have 1, 2, 3, You have 4 different picks than us out of like what 11 games, 12 games.
That's because a lot of them are the over-unders. And so they're not different, but I can win and you can lose. So I'd count them as different.
So, all right. Well, we've been going for quite a while here. Went a little longer because we just haven't had time to all get together. So we kind of did an
2
episode and a half.
episodes
here.
at
for
once,
one.
Yeah. Yeah, 2 for 1 night. So from all of us here at Dinkytown Sports, enjoy the weekend. We hope to see you here again on Monday. Like, subscribe, and comment, if you will. And Skyuma, go Gophers.
Go the boat. Roll Golden Flashes.
Roll Mavs.
Roll Tide.
We'll see you guys here next week. Thank you.